Hello, everyone. My name is James Rodriguez, and I am one of the six urban conservationists here in the state of Texas for NRCS, Natural Resources Conservation Service. And I'm going to be talking about who we are, what we do, and what are some of the services we provide for the public. And I will also be talking a little bit about high tunnels. So, without further ado, let's get started. So, who we are and what we do. NRCS is an agency of the U.S. Department of Agriculture, previously known as the Soil Conservation Service, or SCS. Uh, it was created in 1935 as a response to the Dust Bowl crisis. We are a non-regulatory agency, meaning that we just work with landowners uh, and producers on a voluntary basis. We don't do regulation, we don't do uh, fines or anything of that nature. Um, we provide technical and financial assistance in natural resource planning, design and engineering, implementation of techniques, uh, also used to reduce soil erosion, improve water quality, protect natural resources, enhance wildlife, and so on. Who are our clients? So we mostly work with farmers, ranchers, urban ag producers, but we also work with local units of government, like, for example, tribal governments, city, county, and state governments. We also work with community groups, watershed planning groups, and in general, all private landowners and producers who need natural resource assistance or who have problems within their farm, for example. The process for working with us is fairly simple. Uh, we meet with our clients and discuss resource concerns, issues, and goals they might have for their farms or property. We look to define the resource concerns and issues they have on their farms or property. We identify their needs, what limitations must be considered. What do you want to create? What the person wants to do with their property? What's the code? What do you want to accomplish? What budget restraints exist in order for you to implement those goals? So those are some of the things that we discuss in our initial contact with the person or the group, uh, just to have an idea, and then we go from there. And after we have those initial conversations, we get into what we call conservation plans. Excuse me. With the conservation plans, uh, we we aim to identify what are the producer's goals, objectives, and basically analyze uh, what are the resource concerns present on the land. Um, this To develop these include the use of tools and resources that are specifically designed for each customer, such as land use maps, soils maps, and information of those soils, pictures, inventory of resources, economic costs and benefits, a schedule of recommended practices, maintenance schedules, and engineering notes and designs. To get these are voluntary. It's a voluntary collaboration between the agency and NRCS, and you as a customer. One of the benefits of working with us is that we also have not only we can provide technical assistance, but we also can provide financial assistance through a wide variety of programs. One of them being the Environmental Quality Incentives Program, which is I would say, the most uh, used, the most common. Uh, with this program, what we're trying to do is help uh, landowners address existing resource concerns in their land. So this program helps with financial assistance to correct those issues, um, through our conservation technical assistance and be able to provide you with financial assistance. Some of the benefits that this program help improve is air quality, soil, conserving water, preventing soil erosion, enhancing wildlife habitat, mitigating impacts from climate change also. For this program, NRCS accepts applications year-round, meaning that we don't have any specific dates for us to receive applications. We do have specific dates for rounds of funding though, but you know, if you hear or learn about this program, you know, a weekend or anything, that doesn't mean you're not eligible. You can file an application through your local NRCS office anytime during the year. So now we're going to be talking about high tunnels. High tunnels is one of the practices that we help fund through our EQIP program, the Environmental Quality Incentives Program that I just talked about. One of the reasons for installing a high tunnel is to extend the growing season for high-value crops in an environmentally safe manner. These type of structures will allow you to extend that growing season by either earlier planting and to extend the growing season later in the fall. And this practice helps address the following resource concerns, I should say, to improve plant health and vigor, improve your soil health, reduce nutrient and pesticide transport, improve air quality through reduced transportation inputs, and reduce energy use through local consumption. So when thinking about selecting a tunnel, we have different styles of tunnels, one of them being the Gothic style, which is known for its peak frame. It's very good with an increased light transmission. The higher size allow for more crop production, and in general it's more comfortable for working inside when you're doing your harvesting or planting or working your soils, even installing a irrigation system. It feels like it has more space for you to work on the sides. We also have the Quonset style, which is known for its half moon, half circle type of frame. It's very popular in Texas. It's fairly simple to install and to manage. And the downside is that it's limited by height on the sides, like you can see in the picture. We also have the Quonset multi-base, which is mainly designed for larger operations, and it can become more tricky when it comes to wind because the face must be prevailing those winds for ventilation. So orientation and location are very important. This will depend on the structure and what type of ventilation you have for your tunnel, either roll-ups or ends. You should orient the structure to have the most ventilation as possible. Also, you got to keep in mind that plant damage can occur if proper ventilation is not achieved. Meaning that if you don't have enough ventilation, your plants could burn out, or if you have too much ventilation, you can bring in some pests or have wind damage to your plants if they're too sensitive to it. Ventilation is the only way to regulate temperature. So very important with our hot weather. It's very important to have a ventilation system to keep those plants healthy and not sustaining any damage from the heat. Ventilation facing perpendicular to the prevailing winds for your area. For example, in El Paso, the south, the southwest, if tunnel equipped with roll-up sides. They usually come with the roll-up side, so very important to manage that. It's very important also to capture the most sunlight during the colder months. Typically north and south should capture the most sunlight below the 40-degree north latitude. So you want to have that high tunnel oriented from north to south. Always make them accessible. You always want to be thinking, okay, um, I need to bring my tiller here. Do I have enough space to bring it in? Or do I have enough space to bring materials or tools, or to have staff work on the high tunnel? So you always want to make them accessible, easy. Uh, you do not want to put them next to any tall structures or trees, uh, because you don't want to run into the chance of something falling on top of the tunnel and destroying your structure or hurting somebody working inside the tunnel. So you want to reduce those chances for harm. Uh, the tunnel should be located at a distance that is twice the height of the tallest structure around. So if you have a 25-foot tree in the area, then you know that the high tunnel should be at least 50 feet or more away from that tree or that structure. So you think you're going to be installing a tunnel? All right. Well, let's plan ahead. Let's start thinking here. Some of the important things that you should be thinking is, will I need any additional structures, like for example, a shed for tools or equipment, or even another high tunnel? Um, Irrigation systems. Am I going to be installing a drip system? Am I going to be installing a rainwater harvesting system? Uh, Farming practices. What am I going to be planning? What kind of farming I'm going to be doing? Am I going to be doing no-till or minimum till? Those kind of things are very important and are things that need to be thought, planned in advance before you decide you want to install a high tunnel. As far as covers, we require a minimum of 6 mil greenhouse grade ultraviolet resistant polyethylene cover. Those covers usually last between 3 and 4 years, and you also have to keep in mind that these covers they collect dust and mold and different things that are flying in the air, so they will become damaged with time. Sunlight, they hits them very hard every day, so they're going to be getting brittle with time, um, and that will reduce the effectiveness of the cover, because they will become damaged and kind of dull, which will reduce at the end of the day the light transmission. Tears and cuts can lead to complete cover failure. You can start with just one small cut, and it'll eventually get bigger and bigger and bigger, and by the end of the day you'll have a mess. So those are things to keep in mind. We can also allow to install shade cloth to keep your crops cool in the summertime. Of course, those have to be installed according to the manufacturer's recommendations and instructions. So, but that's an option to be used here in Texas in the summer time when it gets hot and sunlight is at its peak. Irrigation and runoff. Have an idea about planning an irrigation system. Always keep in mind that with putting a cover on top of your crop, you're basically eliminating the chances of rain watering your plants. So you will need to have a watering system there for your plants, for your crops. So depending on what you're growing, it's going to be the options you'll have available. Are you going to be doing flood irrigation or drip irrigation, for example? Also consider the source of your water. Will you be using a well water, municipal water, rainwater, for example? Also, the quality of that water. You will have to be thinking about, okay, what's the pH of my water? What are the you'll have to be testing it basically to see if that water is good enough for your crops, so that you'll have a good yield at the end of the season. Also consider roof runoff. When it rains, that rain is going to have to go somewhere, so you're going to be needing something in here to collect that water or to allow it to percolate in a safe way. So be thinking about, okay, what am I going to do with that water? Do I want to collect it, or do I want it to flow freely in a way that it percolates and does not compromise the, the structure of the high tunnel in the end. For runoff control, we have some practices that help address that concern, and that we can help with both planning and financial assistance. One of them being the critical area planning, which is basically help you plant a strip of grass on the sides of the high tunnel. We have mulching, and also we help with installing roof runoff structure, or for example a guttering system on the sides that can help you manage that water. They can be home built or purchased with the kit. So it will depend on the manufacturer, and if it's an option that they can offer you with the kit you select. Some things to remember, very important. You'll need to have a proper nutrient management to maintain those crops healthy and those yields up the roof, especially in organic situations. If you're growing organic, you want to keep a close eye into the nutrient management aspect of it. And also, if you're doing inorganic, you still want to do monitor your nutrients and soils. Be ready to open every day if necessary. Here in Texas, we know how hot it gets, so it will be necessary potentially for you to be at the farm every day, take some time and open up the tunnel for ventilation. Plant flowering plants to attract beneficial pollinators. You can do planting and strip planting of beneficial plants for your pollinators, your butterflies or bees, and allow them to come into your high tunnel and do the pollination work for you. So be thinking about that. Keep your pollinators happy. They'll take care of your plants. Safety, very important. Be able to keep unsupervised children out of the high tunnel. Although we know it's good to start your children young with farming and let them get their hands dirty with soils and plants and everything. Safety comes first. You don't want children to be playing with dangerous tools or destroying your crops. So keep your kids supervised if they're engaging in activities in the high tunnel, inside the high tunnel. Also, keep in mind that many components can be added to a high tunnel when you're shopping around for kits. That will depend, on your needs. What do you really need for your farm or your operation or your crops? So choose wisely. You can either get a very basic high tunnel, or you can get Cadillac, Ferrari type of high tunnel with all the bells and whistles. So some examples for that is ventilation systems, sidewalls, door options, inflation kits, shade cloth, heaters, and more. They have a lot of options that you can add to your high tunnel. But always keep in mind, okay, what do I really need for my operation to be successful? And go from there. Keep in mind your financial situation, the crops, your location, all of those things. Here in Texas, we have the NRCS High Tunnel Initiative, we call under EQIP. And the goal with this is to provide financial and technical assistance to producers that want to grow or extend their growing season with high tunnels for their specialty crops or high value crops. Um, Everybody's it's eligible to apply for this: individuals, legal entities, Indian tribes, joint operations, anybody that's been growing or it's engaging in ag production is eligible. Organic producers who grow uh, ag crops, uh, commodities, I'm sorry, on eligible land may be able to participate in this initiative. So it's not limited only to conventional inorganic farmers. Some of the requirements for this is you have to be an ag producer and have control of that property for the life of the contract, which will be 4 to 5 years. Uh, already established farm records with the Farm Service Agency, and with that I mean getting a farm and track number and having your information set up with them. Meet the highly erodible land compliance requirements, which is, it's with that, what we're trying to do is reduce or make sure that you're not engaging in highly erodible practices on land that it's susceptible to high rates of erosion. You must meet adjusted gross income requirements of the Farm Bill, which at the moment is $900,000. I know it's a lot of money, and most of us don't have that, but that's one of the requirements. Square footage and contract limitations have been removed, but there is a $15,000 payment contract limitation right now for this fiscal year of funding. So right now, like I said, the payment cap is $15,000, and these payment rates are adjusted every year. And the way we help cost share those rates is by square footage. We pay by the square footage of the high tunnel you want to implement. Requirements for installation. This applies to any land capable of producing crops. So, for example, pasture, cropland, associated ag land, things of that nature. And those determinations are made when you're establishing records with Farm Service Agency. The structure, plan, design, and constructed in accordance with manufacturer's recommendations. So basically, a kit must be purchased from a certified company. It can be something that you build yourself with homemade tools or homemade supplies or whatever. It has to be a manufactured kit. The tunnel frame must be constructed of metal, wood, or durable plastic, and it must be at least 6 feet high from the ground to the top. The minimum of 6 mil greenhouse grade UV resistant polyethylene cover. That cover shall have a 4-year minimum lifespan, and they will the manufacturers will specify that in their kits. The crops must be planted in the natural ground. We do not allow tables or benches, aquaponics, portable pots, or any other types of planting inside the high tunnel. But you may use raised beds. There are a maximum of 12 inches in the to grow your crops. Also, we recommend the plastic covering to be removed by the end of each growing season to prevent damage from snow or high winds. So these are some pictures I took of one high tunnel project that I was working with in North Carolina, where I used to work. This is a Gothic style high tunnel. I think it was a 30 by 72 feet the size. The person that installed this, as you can see, wanted. I consider this a Cadillac because it has a bunch of things. The roll-up doors. You can see the ventilation system right here, and also the sides are uh, roll up too, so that makes it easier for uh, you know opening it up. So I was very happy with this. It looked great. The space when you get inside that structure is it's huge. Feels good. So yeah, this style was the most common we used in North Carolina. Uh, Here's another one. It's the same type of style. Um, this one, the person already had the irrigation system already set up for its plants, and he already knew what he was going to plant on each row. So he was ready to go, ready to go. And you can see here what I was talking earlier about, having accessibility uh, to get inside your high tunnel. He has the roll-up door right here and another door next to it. So, when he wants to come in with equipment to work on, he can just open that door, or when he's just checking the crops out without any needs to open the big door, he just goes in there and uses that little one. So accessibility, ease, control, that's what you want to keep in mind for these things. Another initiative that we have available for producers is the organic initiative. Um, who's eligible for this? Of course, certified organic producers are eligible. Anybody that's transitioning to organic, uh, or producers that are selling less than $5,000 in organic products annually. Um, we do have payment limitations for that initiative, which will be $20,000 per fiscal year, uh, per individual or per entity, and $80,000 during a 6-year period. Okay, so what are the benefits of voluntary conservation on ag lands? Soil health being one of the primary ones for us. Like I mentioned, we were formed, this agency was formed to help reduce soil erosion and improve soil health in the nation. So soil health is our bread and butter. Um, as well known, a healthy soil is the foundation of productive and sustainable ag. If we don't have a healthy soil, we won't have healthy crops or healthy water. So benefits of soil health management systems, of course, reduce soil erosion, maximize water infiltration, improve nutrient cycling, save money on inputs, and improve resiliency. Sorry. Principles to improve soil health. Of course, we want to minimize disturbance, maximize soil cover, maximize biodiversity and soil profile, and maximize the presence of living roots. Also, we want to improve soil structure by reducing soil compaction and increasing the soil organic matter. Some of the key practices that we have available to help achieve those things is no-till, for example, plant cover crops, rotational grazing, and crop rotation. We also want to address water quality. Uh, if you think about it, all land is in a watershed, meaning that whatever happens in the land on top impacts the water quality on the ground. So we offer, through our programs, we offer initiatives and practices that can help farmers and landowners improve water quality while gaining efficiencies and reducing costs. Practices focus on avoiding trapping and controlling nutrients and sediment, um, managing water quality through fighting erosion, enhancing management, improving filtration, and manage animal waste also. There are many more. Some of the practices that we have available for that will be cover crops, for example, grass waterway, filter strips, no-till. There's a big variety of or repertoire of practices that uh, help with this and can help with other concerns as well. Water quantity, for example. Um, as we all know, agriculture is one of the largest users of water, so we wanna make sure that we use that water in a conscious, safe, and responsible way. So producers can manage excess water, conserve limited supplies of water, and build resilience to mitigate drought. Managing water quantity, uh, we can control drainage, improve irrigation infrastructure, improve water supply, and improve moisture management. Some of the practices that we have available for that will be installing pumping plants, micro irrigation, and irrigation water management systems. We also work with wildlife, um, specifically endangered species. We want to make sure that we improve their habitat uh, so that they can thrive again and hopefully increase their numbers. America's privately owned farms, ranches, and forests don't just provide us with food and fiber and the things we need. They also support a lot of wildlife. So we offer practices to help those producers integrate wildlife-friendly practices on croplands, rangeland, pastures, and forests. Some of those practices include brush management, uh, prescribed or rotational grazing, forest stand improvement, wetland restoration. We're now engaging also in climate smart agriculture. Uh, Agricultural producers play a key role in mitigating climate change. As we all know, ag is very influential on how our climate plays out, and we want to keep an eye on that. We want to be sure that we're growing our food in a responsible, environmentally safe way. Some of the benefits of climate smart practices include to conserve natural resources, build healthier soils, carbon sequestration, and reduce greenhouse gases in the atmosphere, including carbon dioxide, methane, and nitrous oxide. Uh, some of the focus areas include soil health, nitrogen stewardship, livestock partnerships, conservation of sensitive lands, grazing, and pasture lands. So in a nutshell, uh, these are the steps right here when you're requesting our assistance or our help. Uh, One step that is missing from this picture will be setting up an appointment with your farm service agency. That will be your number one step so that you can get your record straight and have a farm and track number for your piece of land. That will be the first step. And after, oh, and one thing to remember, that service is free. All of our services are free of charge. Uh, so when you go to your farm service agency, you tell them, I just want to start records with you so I can request technical and financial assistance from NRCS or even FSA. Um, and FSA will know right away what they need, and it's something that you can get done in a day. Uh, so that will be your first step. Contact FSA Farm Service Agency, and they will get you set up. And after that, we'll go through the planning, application, eligibility, ranking, and implement process for your farm to address your resource concerns. For more information, you can always contact the best way, in my recommendation, is to contact your local NRCS office. You can look for more information right here with the farmers.gov website, or visit our website for texasnrcs.usda.gov. There you'll find a lot of resources, more local information pertinent to the state, like deadlines, success stories, programs that we have available, initiatives, and all of those things. So I really encourage you to keep an eye on our website. Um, on farmers.gov, you can also find different conservation at work video series where We try to highlight success stories from across the nation of farmers taking on natural resource conservation and implementing really cool practices to have their farms stay on top and farm responsibly, um, and also increasing their yields and potentials. So if you have any questions, like I said, my name is James Rodriguez. I am the urban conservationist for NRCS in Texas. I am stationed in Austin, Texas, so uh, feel free to reach out to any of us. There's 6 urban conservationists in Texas, but we all work together, and we will try to address your questions and concerns as soon as possible. If we don't know the answer, we'll look an answer for you and get back with you as soon as we can. So I appreciate your time. I appreciate your efforts on growing food or starting to grow food. Uh, Thank you for everything, and till next time.